This is a PlayStation 5 and the HDMI port is damaged. Let's plug in the power cord and the HDMI cord. Turn on our PlayStation. And this is what we get on the TV when we turn the PlayStation on. So my advice is put it down, go to the nearest Best Buy and buy a new one. So my advice is to watch this video and fix it. One day we're enjoying our PlayStation 5 and the next day they stopped working for no reason. If this happened to you, don't worry, I'm here to help you. This repair we're gonna use a screwdriver to take our PlayStation apart, plugs, soldering wire, soldering iron, and a rework station or heat gun. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss future videos. Thank you. To open the PlayStation, we're gonna flip it on the opposite side of the logo. We're gonna grab the corner, lift the corner a little bit and push it down, just like so. Next, we're gonna remove this deep freeze protector. Very easy. We're just gonna pull it from the middle and it's gonna be out. We're going to remove a single screw to remove the extra hard drive storage. If you never install an extra hard drive, you don't have to worry, but still have to remove this plate. We have many screws all around the edges of this plastic frame, also in the fan. Grab yourself a little container, a little basket to have all the screws organized. There is one hiding behind this little sticker. Always make sure to remove that little sticker so you can see the hidden screw. Before we remove the plastic cover, let's remove this hidden connection for the fan. Just pull it and it will come right off. Alright, now we're gonna remove this plastic cover. I do not remove the screws from their place to not get them mixed up. To start, I'm gonna go in one of the corners, grab one of these pry tools and just start lifting. Just go all the way around. You can help yourself with this pry tool. Some of the screws might jump out, just put them back in place. And like I said, you can help yourself with the pry tool. And this whole piece will come right off. I find a place to put this one down so it doesn't interfere. We are working on the digital version, but if you have a PlayStation 5 with the disk drive, the only difference between these two, it's gonna be one of these flex cables that connect with the motherboard, and also before you remove the plastic tray, it's gonna be another cable connecting that disk drive to the motherboard. Everything else, it's gonna be the same after you remove that disk drive. All right, let's go back to the work. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna unplug these two cables. To get access to the motherboard, we need to remove all these screws. I advise you to take a picture of the whole area right here, just to make sure you put the same screws back in place. For example, you don't put this screw on the hole that doesn't belong to. So we need to remove this metal plate, so we're gonna be able to actually remove the motherboard. Now we're gonna pull this metal up. And that's how it's gonna come out. This one, just put it on the side. Now we have this metal holding down or pressing into the processor. Let's remove these two screws holding down that metal. Put those two pieces on the side. 3 cables that we need to unplug or remove before we pull this out. 1, 2. The third one has a little lock that you have to push down before you wiggle the cable out of the connection, just like so. Now it's time to remove this motherboard. Be aware on this side, we have the contact for the power supply. So it's gonna be a little harder on that side. So let's begin. And that is the motherboard itself. Finally, we have clear access to the HDMI port, and let's go to our workstation. Here we have the new HDMI port. I'm going to apply flux on the sides, on the back. Remove these, and also I'm gonna apply flux on the bottom. I'm going to set up my rework station at a 400 degrees Celsius and 70% of air. So many ways that you can hold this motherboard to remove that HDMI from here. Sometimes I do like this, and I just throw the air from one side. I'm gonna use my workstation without any nozzle because I need the wider range of air as possible. I have this surface ready. I'm gonna lay down my motherboard right here. I'm gonna put something else on the top over here so I don't touch all these components, and I'm gonna put weight on the back so that way I have a little room to work. I'm gonna grab my new HDMI and put it on the side ready. We're gonna heat it up from the bottom, melt that solder holding this one, and we're gonna put the new one right away. This is a very easy method that we can use to do it, and it's not gonna be the best or more conventional, but maybe for new beginners this is gonna be the best way possible. Let's get that done. Okay, now we have our station ready. Let's turn it on and let's begin. I am not gonna cut so you guys can tell how long it takes for this to get loose and remove the HDMI. So we're gonna wait. When you see that solder melting, we can start to wiggle it. So you guys can see I don't go nowhere with my heat. Don't go inside, just directly at the HDMI. Don't touch that solder either. Don't touch the motherboard with your heat gun. Try to have your distance, maybe like a half an inch at least, or an inch away from the motherboard. All right, start to get loose. Now we have our old HDMI, and we're gonna grab the new HDMI while we holding down here because we want that solder to be melt, and we're gonna throw our new one in there. We gotta be quick. Another way, we're gonna damage our new one. Make sure the solder is nice and melted, and let's throw the new one. Okay, I attempt, it didn't go in. I think I moved it at one point, so I'm gonna just wait a little bit and I'm gonna go back in. All right. Soon as I saw it went in, I removed the heat away from the new port. That way, that port is gonna stay nice and it's not gonna get melted. I'm gonna jump right away and I'm gonna apply flux on the sides. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to grab my soldering iron and I'm gonna apply extra solder on the sides just to make it secure. It's easier to do this while the motherboard is really hot. If we wait for the motherboard to cool down, it's gonna be a little harder to do it. On both sides. What we want is a really good secure connection. We want that port really secure. Another way is gonna get damaged really easy. All right, we applied new solder and we can let it cool down for a little bit, and after a few seconds, almost like 30 seconds, this is gonna be a little cool. Don't touch it with your hands, you can get burned, and we can shake it and it's now steady. Now this process it took place right here, but the next one we need to make sure all the connections on the back of the new one are making contact with the motherboard. We have many connections right here on the back, so that we're gonna do it under the microscope because we need to solder one by one to assure that everything is done perfect. We can also add a little more solder on the back. Like I said, while it's hot, it's easier for that solder to melt together. Always keep your area of work clean. You can use the isopropyl alcohol 99%, and you can start cleaning all. All right, I've set up my monitor and I'm showing here with the camera to my microscope just to show you how these look. All these connections needs to be soldered one by one to assure perfect connection. We're going to apply flux. All right, we have a perfect sample right here. Two of them got together. So I'm gonna show you how to fix it. Just clean my tip and pull the solder back. Just like so. Now we have clean connection. Going to clean it. I'm gonna put some alcohol. I'm gonna apply a little bit of alcohol and use my toothbrush to clean it. We need to clean the flux. A little more. I'm gonna dry it off with my heat gun. And there we have it. We have perfect connections. That's the way we want it. So here we have our new port already installed, looking nice and beautiful, just like the factory. And let's bring it back to our PlayStation. It's time to install it back in the PlayStation. Remember, this type of PlayStation have the liquid thermal paste, so we're not gonna touch it, and we're just gonna install it back. All the paste is still in there, but if we do need to add more, always have some in handy. Like on the PlayStation 4s, we always add more when we finish the repairs. So on this one, the liquid is still in there. We never touched it. All right, let's install it back. Remember, that's the contact for the power supply. We're gonna flip it. We're gonna slide our motherboard in there. Make sure all the cables are on the top. And just push it down. It's gonna fall in place by itself. All right, let's grab the holder for our processor, and we have this other one. This one just keep the processor with a strong connection with the motherboard. These processors use high temperatures, and sometimes if you without this piece, maybe they will lose contact, especially when you play those games at a higher frame per second. That's why this processor all the time have this type of holders. All right, before we install the plate, the metal plate on top of this, connect all the 3 cables. Basically, it's 3 flex cables. This one don't want to come in. Finally, the other little one. There we go, and the big one. And push it in. Make sure it's tight in there. That's it. Now let's lay down this metal plate on top, and remember, we have so many screws to install. This process is here. We're just gonna put all the screws where they belong, and then we're gonna start to tie them up. Maybe if you have an electric wrench, that will be a little faster. These places like this that it don't have a screw, so that's what I said in the beginning. Please take a picture, because it's little holes also like this one that it don't have a screw, because those are places for the screws. The plastic cover that is on top of this, so make sure to see that. If not, just probably watch the beginning of the video to get something clear. All the screws are done, and now we're going to connect these 2 cables that are going all the way down here. Like, if you forget where they go, they usually have a little writing that it says example FB. That would be the blue one, and F white, the W. Now let's grab this plastic cover and bring it back. Let's make sure it's going, all the screws are going into the little holes where they belong, and let's just close this down. Make sure when you do this that it's gonna be sealed. If you see something lifting from one side, remove it back and check if it's something in between. Everything has to be nice and sealed. And there is our HDMI port. And now let's tighten all the screws. Remember to connect the fan. Right here we have the fan connection, and it's just covered with this little tape. And the last one, flip a screwdriver and tie up the last screw right here. Everything is nice and tight. We got this one. Before we install the white cover, we have this debris protector. Just push it down and it's gonna look like that. Now we're gonna grab the last piece of this puzzle, but before I put it down, let me tell you this. I'm not gonna do this because this video took me longer than I planned, but you can always clean all the dust out of this PlayStation fan. Also, you can do it inside when you have the fan out and you clean all the dust. Probably gonna take it apart tomorrow and do that. In the meantime, let's get this video finished. Grab this piece, and you see it has these hooks. It gotta go on these little holes right here. So you're gonna put it like lower and just align it and push it to the top, and it's gonna click. And now this PlayStation is back the way it was. Let's plug it in and let's test it. All right, let's again connect the power cord and the HDMI. Push the power button once again, and let's see the TV. Searching. Hey, yes! Yes! After stop working for no reason, our PlayStation, it's back alive. That's it for this video, guys. I hope it helped you to repair your PlayStation 5, or at least to entertain you for a few minutes. Have a happy holidays, and I'll see you back in the next video. Please comment down below, what do you want me to repair next? See you. Bye.